Okay, what we're going to do now is the one length bob. I've taken the centre section from the front of the head down to the hairline, and then I've taken slight diagonal forward back sections to about halfway on the ear. If the hair's thicker, take the smaller section to the bottom of the ear. So I'm going to start by taking out 2 pieces from either side. Okay, so this is the one length bob, the classic. So keep your scissors closed. I'm going to cut in the comb. I'm going to bring down, and then I'm going to cut a nice square line. Okay, just going to check that. Put down. You can use your fingers to check it as well. Just take off any little bits and get that as perfect as you can. Okay, if you notice the head's in the slight forward position, so I'm just going to move around, and this time we're going to angle our comb slightly forward, so slightly down at an angle. Okay, so I cut the first bit square, and now I'm going to slightly angle it down. And what that does is when the head's forward, you're cutting like that, so when they put the head up, it then becomes nice and square. So repeat the same on the other side. This is the hardest bit. This is why I like cutting in the comb, because you can use your comb as like a guide. But also on here I can use the neck to see that I've left about a centimetre through that bit. So before cutting, just really have a little look, check I've got the angle correct, and then cut. When you first start to cut a bob, or even when you've been cutting a bob a long time, you will have one side that naturally goes longer than the other. If you're aware of that side, you can go back and correct it. So just check the balance. See a little bit of graduation under there, which I'm just going to get. Okay, so then we're going to take another section, about just over 1 inch thick. Depending on how thick the hair is, the thicker the hair, take the smaller sections. If you can't see your guideline, it means your sections are way too thick. Okay, so just meet up into the middle. On these heads it is quite hard to get perfect section in. It's much easier on a real person. Okay, so you can see your guideline all the way through there. So again, I'm going to use the comb, make sure you comb right from the root down to the natural full. I'm just going to cut using my guideline, follow exactly the same. Don't be tempted to leave it longer or cut it shorter. Okay, repeat that on the other side. Check my balance. Use your mirror to check your client's head to make sure they haven't got their legs crossed. This is the hardest haircut to do because it has to be completely symmetrical. Okay, so now we're going to take horseshoe sections. So I'm going to start over here. Horseshoe sections go from the recession round to the crown. Cut down here. Set it out of the way. Okay, get all the tingle tangles out. Okay, again starting at the back, comb that really down. And then the other side. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to move our client round. I would normally, if I had a client in the salon, I would actually spin my chair around to the side. But obviously, because she's not real, so we're going to move her to the... So now when I come to cut the sides, I get her to put her head in the upright position, so her natural position of her head. And then we're going to continue down cutting this line at a slight angle. Again, that just promotes a lovely swing on the bob. So we're going to bring it down. This time I'm going to tap above the ear. And what that does, that allows for the protrusion of the ear. So as I blow dry it, you won't end up with a hole. Because if I've done really hard tension and that ear stuck out, then when I dried it, that's going to ping up. So you've got to always make sure you tap the ear. Just going to spin her around. Okay, I'm just going to look where that sits. That's sitting just below the neckline. Tap the ear. Okay, and I just now need to check the balance. So I'm just going to spin around. Okay, so I'm slightly longer this side. So we're going to go back over that. Okay, check the balance again. It's much easier when you're working in front of a mirror, because you can see exactly. Move her as well. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so we can do exactly the same. If the hair's quite fine, you can let this section all the way down if you can still see the guideline. But if not, you can do a smaller horseshoe just through the top, just to break it into another two sections. It's better not to rush the bob, it's best to take your time and to perfect it. Just spin it around. This hair's quite tangly. Spin her a little bit around so I can see where we're going. Okay, so comb right from the top to the natural fall, and then continue exactly the same as before. If you want to, use your fingers just to check, taking a little bits off, you can do. Continue following your guideline. These bits are a little bit wispy, so I'm going to use my fingers for that, just to get even tension. Okay, and then we're going to bring the rest of the hair down. Again, I've cut this one from the middle so the whole haircut's symmetrical. The only time I would suggest ever cutting it on the side is if that client always wears their hair on the side, and I would actually give them the comb to put it into their parting, so that if a few hairs fall over, the other side will become longer because they put it in. Obviously, you won't be the one to blame. Right from the top. Again, bring that a little bit over because it tends to be finer in the front of the hair. Use your fingers just to get that perfect. Spin around. Again, comb really back from the crown, make sure that it's in its natural form. Make sure you haven't got like a split there, there's nothing worse. Otherwise that's travelling, and then when you blow dry it you've got longer pieces. Next time you spend time perfecting this haircut. Okay, just come over to the other side. Right from the roots, get all the tangles out. If you're cutting a curly hair bob, I suggest when you do it, you would have to do it through your fingers to get the tension, but just keep it really loose. And then if the client wanted it this length, you need to allow, so I'd leave it about here to let it spring up. Again, use your fingers just for this front bit. A good way you can check the balance with a bob is just to get the front pieces and bring them together, just to see. There's just one little loose hair like this. But no, that balance is good. Classically, the way that we would blow dry a bob was using a Denman brush. But these days you can use like a medium round brush if you want a bit more body. But I tend to blow dry it as flat with it slightly going under so that I can check the graduation at the end. Okay, so that's the one lip bob. Thank you.